Storm Tracker 13 forecast first. Sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
And hot, humid weather across the area today, leading to a few isolated thunderstorms. Right now, Viper 13 real-time radar showing some scattered showers east of I-95. One storm very close to Hemingway and Johnsonville right now, only slowly moving on off to the east. Much of the rain still back to our west and to our south across Florida. We will have that chance for a few more thunderstorms around over the weekend, but not a lot of rain tonight. Temperatures outside, most of us in the 90s, even a few triple digits this afternoon. It will stay warm and muggy tonight, 70s to around 80, and heating back up again tomorrow. I'll have a look at how long this hot weather is going to last coming up.
Coverage you can count on at 5 starts now.
Right now on News 13 at 5, 3 people in Horry County have been arrested after a months-long investigation into the ill treatment of animals.
Then we'll have a live report from News 13's Eric Cooper on the recent honor a Darlington County deputy received after his death.
Then memorial service dates for the late South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Thanks for joining us for News 13 at 5. I'm Adriana Lawrence.
And I'm Jordan Titus and Frenette Pegler. Breaking news tonight out of Horry County. 3 people were arrested this morning at a home in Longs.
Now officials say the arrests come after a months-long investigation into alleged ill treatment of animals at the property. News 13's Morgan Baker reports.
Investigators have been out here off Rainbow Drive in Longs since early this morning, where they rescued several dogs. Officials have not said how many dogs were rescued or what condition they were in. Officials say between the end of April and the end of May, officers conducted an investigation into reports of animals being neglected and mistreated. Today, officers arrested Yakeem Evans, Thamontrese Livingston, and Jamar Chestnut, who face charges of conspiracy and criminal conspiracy. I spoke with a family member who says a lot of their family lives in the neighborhood close together. One neighbor told me he always heard barking around the area, but never thought much of it, as a lot of his neighbors have dogs. I spoke with Allison Gillespie, the adoption coordinator at All for Paws Animal Rescue, who gave advice on what people should do if they suspect a neighbor of animal cruelty.
The best thing to do is call animal control. A lot of times people have in their mind that animal control is the shelter that's going to pick your dog up or your neighbor's dog up and kill it, but that's not what they're out there to do. They work with rescues like us. They work with the community as well to try to get dogs back to their homes.
Officials say a North Carolina-based dog rescue will be caring for the rescued dogs. The investigation is ongoing, and officials say more charges are likely to follow. You can count on News 13 for updates. Reporting in Longs, Morgan Baker, News 13.
Morgan, thank you. Bond was denied again at a hearing for a Robeson County woman facing charges in connection with the death of her stepdaughter. Connie Graham faces a first-degree murder charge in the disappearance and killing of Sarah Graham, who went missing more than 11 years ago. Connie's sons, Bobby McClellan and Luke Locklear, also face charges in Sarah's death. Sarah went missing in 2015 when she was 18 years old while she was on her way to work and was recently declared legally dead by a judge. News 13 is working to get an update on Locklear and McClellan's hearing, which was also scheduled today.
Florence police are investigating a shooting they say left one person injured. Police say the incident happened last night in the area of Gladstone Street. They add their initial investigation revealed that the victim was walking down the street when he was approached by the suspect and shot in the back. The suspect then ran away, and the victim received medical care and is expected to be okay. Anyone with information is asked to call the Florence Police Department.
The Darlington County Sheriff's deputy killed last year in the line of duty was recently named the 2026 South Carolina Sheriff's Association Deputy of the Year.
And Deputy Devin Mason was nominated by Sheriff Michael August. News 13's Eric Cooper is live in Darlington. And Eric, you spoke with Sheriff August about the nomination. What did he say?
Well, Jordan and Adriana, Sheriff August says Deputy Mason's law enforcement career was short, but the legacy he left behind made him feel it was the right decision to nominate him. Deputy Mason was killed July 1st, 2025, after he and another deputy were ambushed while trying to serve a warrant at a home near Lamar. Suspect Cameron Dennett was killed after he exchanged gunfire with deputies. Mason had just completed his field training just 1 week before the ambush. August says 46 sheriffs from across the state voted on the nomination. He says from his first conversation with Mason, he saw that Mason would make a great officer.
I knew he was going to make a wonderful deputy because of the way he knew how to communicate with people. It's, you know, a lot of this in this profession, you know, we do it because we want to, you know, get out here and do better in our community. We want better for our children. And, you know, Deputy Mason had that quality about him, that he had a, you know, he had that in him, that he knew how to talk to people.
Now, Mason left behind a fiance and a young son. Coming up at 6, hear more from Sheriff August and the special message he had for Mason's young son. Reporting live in Darlington, Eric Cooper, News 13.
Thank you, Eric. Funeral arrangements for South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham have now been released. Graham's office says memorial services will take place on July 28th in Washington, D.C. and on July 29th in Columbia and Pickens County. No details have been released on times or who is scheduled to speak. Graham died last Saturday at the age of 71.
News 13 is your local election headquarters, and Senator Mike Rickenbaugh has officially joined gubernatorial candidate Alan Wilson on the Republican ticket for lieutenant governor. Rickenbaugh and Wilson met in Columbia today with South Carolina Republican Party Chairman Drew McKissick for the official signing of the lieutenant governor nomination form, formally placing the Wilson-Rickenbaugh ticket on the November general election ballot. As lieutenant governor, Rickenbaugh will lead the Family's First Audit Initiative, a key part of the Wilson administration's plan to make state government more accountable by identifying waste, improving efficiency, and ensuring taxpayer dollars are spent wisely.
The South Carolina Department of Transportation is seeking comments from the public on plans to replace 12 bridges along Interstate 95 in Dillon and Florence counties. These 8 projects will join 4 nearby bridge replacement projects that were previously approved by the SCDOT Commission, bringing all 12 proposed bridge replacements under the program. The bridges are located along 8-mile stretch of Interstate 95 between mile markers 172 and 180. SCDOT will accept public comments through August 8th.
And let's head out to the Myrtle Beach Boardwalk from our Earth Cam here to take a look at the now reopened volleyball nets. The city of Myrtle Beach announced on Facebook that the nets between 8th and 9th Avenues North are back up and ready to be used. They had recently been closed due to back-to-back events taking place on the lot.
Turning to sports, exciting news for fans of PD Ice Cats. Rasmus Asp was announced the most recent addition to the hockey team. The team made the announcement today that the 6'4" Sweden native will be taking to the ice this upcoming season. The first home game is Friday, October 16th.
News 13 on-time traffic, sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
And traffic not too bad right now on 501 between CCU and Carolina Forest. Just the occasional slowdown at the traffic lights. 544 not too bad right now. Drive times along the Grand Strand on 501 from Carolina Forest to CCU. That'll take 9 minutes. 17 in both directions along the Grand Strand, moving a little bit slower than normal. Florence area looking okay. No problems in town right now. I-95 moving along nicely. Currently on 95 from TV Road to 76. That'll take 9 minutes. Palmetto from 5 Points to Irby Street will take 5 minutes. And 52 from Palmetto to I-95 will take 8 minutes.
Frank, thank you. Millions of Americans are locked in a fight with Mother Nature. In the Midwest and Northeast, smoke from wildfires in Canada is blanketing the skies and making it dangerous just to be outside today. Marcus Espinoza reports from New York City, where millions of people are under an air quality advisory.
Millions of Americans waking up to poor air quality across the country due to more than 800 active wildfires right now in Canada. What we can do to try to stay safe through the weekend as these advisories stay in place. New York hit very unhealthy levels yesterday and even into the morning, according to air quality data. However, cities like Detroit and Chicago are dealing with it even worse. And in fact, it is hazardous there. That means the air quality is so bad that it could be dangerous and pose immediate health risk. People in Chicago say they are feeling the effects.
It's wild because when you look outside, you think it's fog and it's completely covered the city, and it's smoke because when you walk outside, it burns, it stings a little bit.
It's almost like smoking cigarettes all day without even having to go get Newports, man. It's insane, bro.
Smoke from these wildfires are spanning across the Midwest and much of the East Coast, reaching as far south as the Carolinas. This is all compounded by the heat wave New York and many other states across the country are also feeling. As far as what you can do to stay safe right now, try to cancel or limit outdoor activities like at camps, pools, beaches, and many non-air conditioned indoor spaces. The biggest risk, of course, are to young kids and older adults, and anyone with heart or lung conditions and those who are pregnant are encouraged to stay inside as much as possible. Experts say spending time outside when the air quality index is more than 201 is equivalent to smoking a cigarette in New York City at 270 on Thursday. Health officials say if you have to step outside today for really any amount of time in these areas, to try to wear a KN95 mask. Yes, the same ones from the COVID era. That'll help you with the air quality that millions of Americans are still dealing with right now. In New York City, Marcus Espinoza, News Nation.
And while the Midwest and East Coast deal with smoke, Texas is dealing with deadly historic flooding. The worst flooding hit Uvalde and Texas Hill Country. Vehicles have been swept away, some communities completely cut off. More than 1,300 responders, even some out from state deployed. More than 200 people have been rescued, even some from helicopters. The flooding has left many residents stranded and not able to make it to places like the grocery store.
Can't go east or west right now, but we're hoping for the best.
I can't get through to the local grocery store or to Walmart. My wife got sick and I need to get prescriptions from her. I can't get through. In that sense, it's pretty bad.
2 people have died as a result of this storm, and the death toll could potentially go up. Governor Greg Abbott issuing a disaster declaration for several counties in and around Texas Hill Country.
And we're heating up across the Carolinas. Some of us hit triple digits today. I'll have a look at how hot it'll be for the weekend coming up.